it is a big warning coming in from Donald Trump on the Iran-Israel war. Trump has made a clear statement that reads, and I quote, "Want a real end? Iran must give up entirely." Trump has said that I did not say I was looking for ceasefire. Trump has also added that Iran knows not to touch our troops. Trump, mincing no words there, has said that Iran will face wrath if US troops are harmed. The statement that reads, and I quote, "I did not say I was looking for ceasefire." He said this on AF1. In fact, he also said that he wanted a real end with Iran giving up entirely on nukes. The Israelis aren't slowing up their barrage on Iran, as he's predicted. He's also said, and I quote, "You're going to find out over the next 2 days. You're going to find out. Nobody's slowed up so far." Asked on his thinking on calling for Tehran to evacuate, he said that he wants people to be safe. He needs to be present at the White House, not Canada, and that is why he left abruptly earlier than what he was supposed to say. He said that, all right, let's listen in to that detailed statement.
You just posted right before we took off that you're not leaving because of a ceasefire. Why are you? Can you elaborate?
Look at it better than ceasefire. We're not looking for a ceasefire. I didn't say I was looking for a ceasefire. That was Emmanuel, nice guy, but he doesn't get it right too often. But we're not looking. We're looking for better than a ceasefire.
That's just what you're looking to get into this more. You're not going to involve the U.S. in this conflict at this stage. You're going to do anything more for Israel right now?
Doing pretty well. Right now, we're doing pretty well. Remember, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. We don't have to go too deep into it. They just can't have a nuclear weapon.
What was the thinking on the call for Tehran to evacuate? Is there a threat or is there incoming? What was the thinking on the full evacuation?
I want people to be safe. And that's always possible. A thing like that could happen. I just want people to be safe.
Is there any new concern about U.S. troops or assets in the region at all today?
Great people, they know how to protect themselves.
And when you say better, what's the...
Oh, we'll come down so hard if they do anything to our people. We'll come down so hard, then the gloves are off so beautifully. Now, I think they know not to touch our troops.
Are you sending the vice... Do you plan to send the Vice President and Steve Witkoff? There's reports that you want to send the Vice President and Steve Witkoff to meet with the Iranians and have discussions. Is that something you're considering?
Not sure yet. I may. Depends on what happens when I get back.
What specifically is better than a ceasefire? What are you looking for here?
An end. A real end, not a ceasefire. An end.
So something that would be permanent?
Yeah. Or giving up entirely.
Is that
okay too?
Are you closer? Is that possible in the next 24
Why not? Certainly possible. Complete give up. That's possible, yeah.
Has the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and the Secretary of Defense drawn up plans for you if Iran were to attack U.S. bases or do any damage to U.S. bases?
I can't tell you that. Just can't tell you.
Can I ask you, because there's been some skepticism, is there any guarantee that if the U.S. did get involved militarily, that a U.S. bomb could destroy Iran's nuclear program and facilities?
Use of everything or anything on life, you know that. Look at you, right? There's no guarantee. But you're saying a guarantee on what?
Do you think if the U.S. got involved militarily, it would actually wipe out Iran's nuclear program, or where's your assessment of that?
I hope their program's going to be wiped out long before that. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
Do you have any reason to believe the Israelis are going to slow down, or are they going to hit the accelerator right now?
Well, we're going to see. You're going to find out over the next 2 days, right? You're going to find out.
Has the gang of eight...
Nobody's slowed up so far.
Has the gang of eight been notified about what's coming in the next couple days?
Well, we'll be talking to them.
What can you do?
It's not necessary.
What can you do in Washington that you couldn't do in Canada?
Just be a little bit, I think, more well-versed. Not having to use telephones so much because I don't believe in telephones. Because people like you listen to them. So being on the scene is much better. And we did everything I had to do on the G7. We had a good G7. We signed the deal with the European Union, phase one of a deal. But we signed the deal with the UK down the line with a lot of deals. I mean, look, we're actually finished with every deal if you really think about it, because all I have to do is say this is what you're going to pay.
Did
But
Secretary
it's
Benson
nice to be nice.
Cutting across to Shivani Sharma, who's joining us live on the broadcast. Shivani, the world was waiting to hear whether Trump would mediate, what he would say, what his position in this entire Israel versus Iran war will be. But he has made it very clear, mincing no words there, that Iran must concede. They cannot be a nuclear power. And Iran has made it very clear that they will not back down. How do you see this panning out?
See, now US President has made it very clear that he has gone back to United States not to mediate but to see real action, and that's what he's indicating, that in next 2 days we'll see some more action. So we need to understand, Suesha, that the war there, the conflict between Iran and Israel has almost reached, that is an indication that it has reached to a saturation, and in next 2 to 3 days there will be severe action from Israel that will be seen. And when we see this whole conflict since last 5 days, see, United States has been supporting Israel, and now Donald Trump has very much clarified and said that Iran has to give up and completely give up on its nuke power. So in next 2 to 3 days, some decisive action can be seen, and he said that he needs to be in the Situation Room in United States rather than being in Canada. He needs to know about what's happening in the whole war zone. So he cannot get that information on his phone, of course. So he needs to be in the war zone's Situation Room that is there in United States. He said that there will be some decisive action. And one more very interesting question that was asked by the person who was talking to him, that whether the involvement of the United States will lead to the nuclear power program of, will it wipe out the nuclear power of Iran? He said it will happen long before that. So this is also an indication that whatever is happening and whatever Israel is doing cannot happen, as the experts also believe, without a go-ahead from the United States. Suesha, we need to understand that. So it is very important that in this conflict now Donald Trump has clarified he's not going to mediate or any kind of ceasefire. He's returned to keep an eye on the whole situation, and next 2 to 3 days will be quite decisive.
Right.
And he wants Iran to give up totally. And to give up completely, and he says that it has to end completely, and that end will be wiping out of all nuke power of Iran.
Oh yes, absolutely, Shivani. 5 days into the conflict, and certainly seems like strong decisions could be taken very soon. I want to thank you for joining us.